it just came with the territory with me, I think, even though in our first year, you can't do contemporary music until you're a good choir. It takes musicianship. Most of people our generation that sang in choirs never had very much skill training. You know, we had some piecemeal that we all played an instrument when we were young or whatever, but as far as serious solfege or serious sight reading skills and musicianship skills, most people don't have them. So your average adult chorus has a far lower level of actual musical skill than the upper levels of the Piedmont choirs. If we hadn't had advanced math and media revolution and computer generation and all that, music wouldn't be what it is right now. It's constantly being influenced by the times. And the people who are growing up in those times, especially as we change so rapidly, are the best suited to then become the interpreters of those times. For those of you who have heard some of my pieces, I'm kind of obsessed with the moon and night a little bit, and or maybe I'm just stuck in a rut. What possessed me was that Bob said this is the kind of piece he wanted, and since I'm the composer in residence for Volti, I just do whatever Bob says. I'll do whatever Bob says.
For years, Echo has pushed me. We need to do some Mark Winges, and it's difficult, and we have half as much rehearsal as ensemble, and you know, there's a lot of issues to have to think about, and so we just began a dialogue, and I'll let Mark take it from there.
Well, it's an interesting, and going back to your point about musicianship, for example, you know, in ensemble or concert choir, the male voices haven't changed yet. They're sort of we're all working together. There are very specific challenges when a male's voice changes. And I had to get educated about that from Clifton, so I would sort of know some stuff to write that would work.
It's a very simple melody from Russia. Tchaikovsky used it in his 4th Symphony. In our Kodai sort of based approach to teaching, we like to use folk songs. The lyrics are that the leaves are dancing on the birch tree, and I always thought that everybody did it a little just a bit too morbidly, because I thought, well, dancing leaves, that's kind of more rock and roll. So so I wanted to put a little more beat in it, and then during the composition, Bob said to me, because he always likes to insert something of himself.
I'm getting a bum rap here.
Actually, honey, I was complimenting you. And he said, Sue, you should make it your own. Put in something that will make it your mark. And so I inserted a little 5/8 time that repeated a little text that's not in the original melody, and that's it.
I have a question. I'm really curious to hear from Eric and Rachel, because did you guys get to a point where you decided, well, I know enough, I can write, I won't write, but can we do it?
Question, yeah.
And then the next step is, are you singing in it? Are you singing your own piece? And how does it feel? Does it meet your expectations?
I guess my process was, I remember I just wrote for fun. I didn't expect that anyone would actually perform the piece. And I remember bringing it to Bob when I was 14. I felt I just would read texts and sort of hear music that went along with them. So I would write it down and try and create something based on the text. And I remember showing it to Bob, and he said, oh, well, this is actually, you know, nice, and we'd like to perform it. And Martin Benvenuto, who was the concert choir conductor at the time, said, well, who are you writing this for? Were you writing it for God, if you didn't expect people to? No, I'm just writing it because I enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I guess I was definitely inspired by Eric. Because my first year of ensemble, I sang Who's Gone Away, which is one of Eric's arrangements. And that year on tour, I was like, oh, I could do that too. So I started kind of fiddling around with different things. And I did that for a year or so, just trying arrangements, never anything really original. And then I think in 9th grade, I started looking around for texts, just wanted to play around with what I could do with different musical settings. And then I finally came up with like a concrete piece.